So here's question number 1. Use the area model to write an equivalent fraction to 1/2. Okay, hopefully you got it. We have 1/2 is equal to 2/4. And why that is we start out with 1/2 like this, and then we broke it up. So we have 2 shaded pieces, 1, 2, and there's 4 total, 3, 4 total pieces. Okay, question number 2 now. Draw an area model to show the equivalent fractions. Fill in the missing boxes. Well, since you're on the computer, you obviously can't draw it, so you need to fill in this missing box. So if you got the answer of 4, you are correct. How we do that with an area model is we would have 2, 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we'd have 2 of these shaded in, so that's 2, 6. And then we're just breaking it in half because we need to end up with 12. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Okay, question number 3. Multiply to find the equivalent fraction. Fill in the missing boxes. So if you pick the answer of 2 and 4, because 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, you had it correct. Number 4, oops. Multiply to find the equivalent fraction. Fill in the missing boxes. So, if you got times 2, then that would be in this box, which means whatever we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top. And 2 times 2 is equal to 4. So if you selected 2, 2, and 4, you had it correct. Okay, our last one on this part. What are 2 equivalent fractions for 1/3? Well, if you selected 10/30ths, because that is times 10 over 10, that is correct. And if you selected 5/15ths, you are also correct, because that is times, oops, that's my answer, that is times 5 over 5. These other ones, there's no way I can get from 1/3 to 1/30th. There's nothing I can multiply because that'd be times 10, but then this should be times 10, and it's not. Same thing with 10/15ths. There's nothing I can multiply to get from 1 to 10 because that would be times 10, because this is not times 10. So these are not equivalent. So our answers are just A and B. Okay, to our next one now. Divide to find an equivalent fraction. Fill in the missing box. All right, if you said 4 divided by 4 is 1 and 8 divided by 4 is 2, you had it correct. Number 7. Divide to find an equivalent fraction. Fill in the missing box. Well, I know 5 divided by 5 is 1. And 80 divided by 5, I need to write that out. So that's going to be 5 goes into 8 one time. Multiply, because remember I have my Does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers. And I get 5. Now I subtract and get 3. I check 3 is less than 5, so I can bring down. And now I can repeat my steps. 5 goes into 30 6 times. Multiply, 6 times 5 is 30. Subtract. Check, 0 is less than 5. Bring down, there's nothing to bring down, so my answer is 16. So if you had 16 over 1, you had it correct. For number 8, we have, what are 2 equivalent fractions for 90 100ths? So I need to think, how do I get from 90 to 100? Or how do I get from 90 hundredths to one of these other numbers? If you selected B, you are correct because I'm dividing by 10. Remember, when I divide by 10, I just remove those zeros. And there's another one in here. Do you see it? It's going to be this one right here. Now, why is that? Well, we have 90 hundredths equals 18 20ths. And what do? Well, we have to divide by 5. And if we don't know our division facts well, we can always think, well, this is multiplying by 5, which is the same. And then 18 times 5 is also equal to 90. So this one matches. 90 divided by 5 is equal to 18. So if you selected B and C, you had it correct. Now for number 9, it says, right, I'm going to erase these. Write 2 equivalent fractions for 4 12s. Use any method. All right, there's many possible answers for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one larger and smaller. So I'm going to divide this by 2 because they're both even, so I can divide both of them by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So that's one equivalent fraction. And then I'm going to multiply. I'm going to make it larger. Again, there's many different answers. You can multiply it by any number you want, and you can divide it by any number that you can divide the numerator and denominator by. So 4 times 2 is 8. 12 times 2 is 24. So those are 2 options we could have had. And our last one. What are 2 equivalent fractions for 6 6? Well, this one should be easy. You'll notice the top number is the same as the bottom number. So any number that you write, as long as the top number is the same as the bottom number, is going to be equivalent. You can even have 1,000 over 1,000 is going to be the same. Good job, you guys.